still want to take money from Weston Ranch to pick up their garbage. And now they'll get paid through the county instead of
So
through
it's
the
the
city.
same people, just paid differently?
Same
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
I'll bet you won't recognize a difference.
Well, I know someone- I know
LAFCO,
someone who
if
said
we
they
vote
feel like
this,
every 3
LAFCO
months.
will take several months to make sure that everybody's agreements and contracts are all in place for everybody.
Okay, no, I know someone who lived in the county, they were telling me, yeah, we pay every 3 months for water or something. That
Yeah.
sounded kind of good to me, you know.
Yeah, well, and that might change because we're not in the city of Stockton, but I doubt it. I doubt that that's gonna
And the
change.
Mello-Roos, will we still pay it?
We're still gonna pay Mello-Roos
Until next year.
until, yeah, some places it's gonna stop, some of them are gonna stop.
But if you-
Some Mello-Roos have a time limit on it, some never have a time limit on it. All those things are gonna still go on, the Mello-Roos and all that, it's up. But now the money, instead of going into the city of Stockton and being consumed by that huge black hole that sucks all the money away from everybody, it's gonna stay with the county, who then will be, who we work with to make sure that our landscapes are kept up and everything. Yes?
I know the schools are all mandated, the school districts, so they'll be impacted, but what about parks? Are they maintained by the city of Stockton right now?
Parks are maintained by the city of Stockton, and the parks then would have to be maintained by
Would have to
The,
contract that out?
by
When
the
you say
county.
maintained,
We
you
would
should
need
have
our
air
own
quotes.
community and recreation area here.
All the buildings within our area stay with us, okay? They've almost all been paid for by tax dollars, Mello-Roos fees, our money. There are buildings, they're not going away. Our library is gonna continue, libraries are the staff are paid for by the city, but the city runs it for the whole county. So that's gonna stay the same, the schools are all gonna stay the same, none of that is going to be impacted.
So our fire protection stays the same.
We're actually meeting on fire protection, because we have that question. I can't imagine that they have city-run fire stations outside of the city limits of Stockton that they have agreements and arrangements on how to do that. I'm sure they're gonna continue that. This is one of their favorite fire stations out there, this one, so. So I can't imagine that they would close it down.
I believe
We're meeting with people just to make sure what's going on.
I believe Ann and I proposed that question a year and a half ago, and if I'm not mistaken, I think French Camp was saying something about coming and running that station, but it would still be the same station.
Still be the same station. There might be a different entity that's staffing it. Okay? Good questions. Excellent. Yes?
The law enforcement situation, now this is, is this just a verbal agreement with the sheriff? Will it be a contract based on the amount of coverage?
We have a written document, a proposal that he has provided for us. So we're meeting with him and the police chief of Stockton on Monday morning. And just to see if politically if they've changed their mind or not. But if we're under the county, they're not going to stop protecting Weston Ranch any different than they protect the rest of the county. And I will tell you, if you go to the county pockets, the people in those county pockets have been given the option of voting themselves into the city of Stockton, and never one of them has ever done it. Why? Because they're happier with what they get than what they think they'll get when they're in the city of Stockton. So there's no benefit for them to become incorporated into the city.
So the county goes in and polices those pockets.
All of these pockets, yeah. They're all policed by the county, yes.
I'll just give you an example. My parents live in a county pocket.
Right here.
And about a month ago, my mom got one of those phone calls where, the person told them, I need you to go to the bank, I need you to get some money. And they just kept harassing her and harassing her. And, I tried to tell her, Dale tried to tell her, everybody tried to tell her that it was just hang up, don't talk to them. So she ended up calling 911. And the sheriff actually went to her house, went inside the house and sat there with her for almost 45 minutes explaining to her what to do, and the man called back. He talked her through it. He sat there with her, took a report. I couldn't believe it. I actually called my dad to see.
And 6 hours after she called 911, right?
I couldn't believe he actually went in the house and sat there with her.
Is that the kind of service we're getting?
No.
Anybody got that kind of service yet?
No.
Here.
No.
Okay.
It's getting worse because when I'm calling 911 now, when we have gunshots going off on the street behind
They
us,
don't come at all.
they're refusing to come out unless we give them a specific address.
Yeah, they
So
asked
so
me to
when
go check on
somebody at the last
those
meeting,
shots. Go ahead.
somebody at the last meeting asked, well, how do we have any guarantees that the sheriff is actually going to send deputies out here? And I said, could it get any worse?
Yeah.
Could it? Probably not. Okay, so,
Okay, but wait a minute, but isn't that one of the whole reasons why we're trying to do this? So how, if we go through this thinking that we're going to get more protection, but there's no way of guaranteeing that this is even gonna happen, so doesn't that make what we're doing mute?
Oh, no, we are.
Well, at least the police department is only a quarter of a mile away versus 8 miles away.
and you know what, I will tell you, this is my opinion. If we do this, if we as Weston Ranch succeed in unifying ourselves and doing this, the politicians are gonna be afraid not to give us what we want.
And,
Right?
and
Yes.
plus the other things we have to look at, it's not just the police protection. And I know a lot of people are looking for police protection, but you have to look at the whole package.
And we'll go through that here, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm here
Excellent.
to present, is the whole package, besides police.
So you're gonna talk about the number, because you
Yes.
say something about 2,500 people.
We're gonna talk about all that for you. We're gonna show the whole plan here.
By the
So-
way, I'm sorry, by the way, Michael Fitzgerald says there's 25,000 people in Weston Ranch, not 20,000 like we keep saying. So that would make us 1/10 of Stockton.
Wow.
We're 1/10 of the population.
Do you know how many people are registered?
We are
for
being
water?
very conservative, low numbers, because we don't want them to say we're exaggerating anything. We're finding out we're so much lower that they're telling us, no, it's this, and it's like, well, good, you put it out there. Because it helps that. If we have 25,000 residents in Weston Ranch, how many residents in all of Stockton? Anybody know?
260.
265.
10% of Stockton
We should have
lives
10
in the ranch.
We should
Are
have
we getting 10% of the
officers.
services?
We aren't getting 10% of the officers.
Wait a minute, Gail,
We
she
get
asked a
0%
question.
of the
Oh,
officers.
I'm sorry.
Do you know how many people out here in Western Ranch are registered to vote?
It's in here, 11,000.
And we have the voter registration list now. We have all the list of everyone, so we can actually sit there and go, they aren't, we count each one. We have
Because
it.
the only votes that are gonna count are those who
Are
are
reg-
registered to vote.
Registered voters within Weston Ranch.
And at the time that we're out there, if somebody says, this is really important to me, I want to vote, we will have a voter registration form with us and say, here.
Actually, the only ones that count are the people that are gonna sign the petition.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And are registered
But
voters.
they have to be registered to vote.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Here's our, here, I went out and I took some pictures in Weston Ranch, and like I told the other group, I didn't actually take this picture. That's way up in the sky. But here's our whole community, and 5,500 homes. I got that from a list that I got from a realtor of all the properties within Weston Ranch. It was a little under 5,500. There's other numbers that are being thrown out. In that broadcast, she said 6,500.
Yeah.
I think that's way, way too high. This is from an actual list that lists every property and who owns it within Stockton. 5,500 homes, 11,000 registered voters. It goes up and down, people move, some of those are not valid, but that's what it is right now. So if you look at it, it's like 2 people per home are registered. Some homes there's more than 2, and some homes there's less, but that's what it kind of works out to be. They're thinking that probably 3,000 of those are not even valid. The people don't live here anymore, so it could be much less than that. And when we're done, we're hoping it's more, because we're going to register people who want to sign the petition, right? Here's a registration, sign our petition, make sure you vote the right way. Or we won't turn in your registration form. That's against the law. Take that, cut that. So I just went around the day after this, day before that video, I went around on my bike and my electric car and took pictures in Weston Ranch on that day, so that you guys can see what the city's providing for you in services. Okay, so this is Weston Park. Somebody told me, will you please go out, I paint over graffiti, and my wife paints over graffiti, and they asked me to paint over that graffiti, and I said, first I'm going to get a picture of it before I paint over it, but it's going to get painted over tomorrow.
Do you know how many times that box has been
I know, I
graffitied?
painted it.
I've painted it.
What chart is that?
That's Weston Park by the ball.
Gully
by the
Weston
ball.
Park by ball fields.
It's actually, isn't it the Little League trip?
Right there with the league,
Yeah.
with the little league. Okay, in Weston Park, there's a shade structure in there. You guys seen the holes in it?
Oh, yes.
Who knows what those holes are from besides bullet holes? My wife does.
What?
A pipe bomb. Okay? If you look at one of the tables in the very middle, underneath the bigger holes, you'll see an indention in the table that shows the indention of a pipe. There was a pipe bomb that went off in that structure and caused all those huge holes all throughout the top of it. About 5 years ago, 6
Oh my
years ago.
goodness, I can believe it.
Called the police, they never came, they don't care about bombs in Weston Ranch. They care about bombs in downtown Stockton, but not bombs in Weston Ranch. So,
Or
It was only a bomb, did you see who anybody got hurt?
well, yeah, we can't do anything unless we actually see the bomb go off. So it's never been repaired and fixed. It's been reported, it's never been fixed at all. You know, we pay extra money for the maintenance of Weston Park. In your property taxes, there's more money. The people who live around Victory Park, they get their part for just their regular taxes. The people in Weston Ranch, we pay our regular taxes, plus we pay an additional fee for the maintenance of our parks. Shouldn't our parks be maintained better than the parks where they're not paying extra money?
It should be immaculate.
It should be immaculate. Here's some more park pictures. Okay, so park maintenance, landscape maintenance, you guys pay Melrose fees, and my wife said $90. It is more like
Ours is over 100.
$100, yeah.
A month.
A month.
Gotta keep it
A month.
Where is that on the tax?
On there, there's a Melrose for landscape maintenance. It's about $1,200, $1,300, $1,400.
Ours may have disappeared already because we just got a tax notice and my wife was looking at it the other day and she doesn't see Melrose.
I see 141. Melrose, is that mean Melrose?
Yeah, and if you notice, there's more than one Melrose on here.
What's Regina though?
The amount on here for, and it's different depending on where you live. Here it is, the one that says Western Ranch Landscape.
Check.
That's the one. So that you're paying extra money for landscape. And you know what that's supposed to go for?
Here.
Landscape.
Those
So-
are invisible trees, what are you talking
Look
about?
at, okay, dirt is not considered landscape. It's land, but we don't consider dirt landscape. So there used to be trees.
Uh-oh,
Oh my goodness. Somebody call a cop.
Sensitive.
the baby's breaking into the car, watch out.
Here. All those
Sensitive.
are trees that either were pulled out, stolen, died, broken over. Okay? Now, those trees should be as big as that tree. So those trees are probably been missing for 4 or 5 years,
Oh, at least.
at least. Okay? So
And how
shouldn't they, in maintaining our landscape, do something that like maintain the landscape
Yes.
and replant those trees? How much does it cost to replant a tree?
Not very much.
Okay, buy the trees, we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it, so you don't have to pay any, whatever, but we want to make sure that our parks
We're
look,
not planting trees. They're planting trees.
okay,
So just think about it.
garbage, so that way.
Think about it, everybody's paying $1,200, $1,300 a year for our landscape to be taken care of.
Should be max.
What are these landscapers landscaping out there? They're trimming the hedges and not replacing the trees that are gone and not
So-
putting grass back there.
Where's that math teacher? So let's just cut it down, let's be conservative, instead of 1,200, let's say $1,000 a year.
5,500
55 homes, how much money is that for landscape?
There you go.
A year.
A year.
$550,000 a year to maintain our landscape.
And how much are they paying those guys?
Not enough.
$550,000.
No, the guys that are out there that I see.
It's
do
really
landscaping.
irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
It's a contract.
What I'm getting to though, is that they're paying them probably an hourly wage, where is the rest of this money
No,
going?
it's a-
That's the point you're making. No matter what they're paying them, it's not a $550,000.
Right.
But get it, they're not being paid individually. It's a contract.
It's a contract with a company.
It's a contract.
So my question has always been, and I got the answer, but I don't know if you guys have enough time for all my stuff. But, so they're not paying the landscapers $550,000, so where's that money?
Going.
Where is it? Right? It's our money.
Yeah.
The law says it only can be spent on Western Ranch landscape.
So who's able to go in and look at the books of the city and find out where the categorical funds are?
We've asked, and we're
We've
getting,
asked.
we're getting roadblocks every
By
little
law,
time.
by law, they have 30 days to turn over the records to Dale and I once we make a formal request. And one of the One of the joys of doing the interview yesterday with Michael was that he said that he has requested the same set of records that we're requesting, and they have attorneys that will get those records, and he said he will turn them over to us.
So what the city does, and I know because I've argued with this all on the city, is you put in a request for a legally obligated document that I have to provide to you in 30 days. But I don't give it to you. What are you going to do?
Go to court.
Yeah.
You have an attorney, you sue me, I'll give it to you. But otherwise,
Nothing.
nothing's going to happen. That's what's
The
happening.
homes that are foreclosed and owned by banks, do you know if they're still obligated to pay them over?
Yes, they are. The bank has to pay it. Okay, so you go down William Moss Boulevard. We used to live right kitty corner from this spot. You guys know there's a sign there that's the San Joaquin Trail there, right? I don't know if you guys know William Moss. Okay, so there's our green belt there that goes across William Moss and all the way across Western Ranch.
That doesn't look too.
That doesn't look like a green belt to me. We've lived out here for 24 years, and that has been dirt and weeds for 24 years. And when you ask the city about it, they will tell you, oh, we forgot to make an agreement with the developer. They were supposed to develop it, but when they didn't, we had no consequences to get them to develop it. So I guess you guys are out of luck.
Well, it's 250,000 that.
So on the council, I got mad and I threw one of my little fits and I threw something. And they agreed to fix this piece of property, no grass, nothing they have to mow or anything. They were going to put some exercise equipment in there and some other stuff just so that it wasn't dirt anymore. Okay, and they had all the plans and I followed up when I made to it, and when I left the council, I contacted them and I said, so where's the status on those plans? And they said, oh, we're not doing that anymore.
We spent it on Miracle Mile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some more along our green belt. Is that attractive for you guys to go spend time walking in your green belt? The more shots along the green belt.
Yeah, what was that originally for?
It's supposed to
There is
be.
for a specific reason, but I can't.
You can't build houses there because it's a PG&E easement,
Yeah.
and there's a requirement that you can't just let weeds grow within the city of Stockton, because if you let weeds grow in your backyard, you're going to get cited. For some reason, the city of Stockton can let weeds grow wherever they want, and nothing happens. And so there's nothing you can do to force them to take care of it other than just public outrage. All of this stuff has been told to the council over the past 24 years. It's not new information for them. The lights, have you ever seen how many lights are broken? And probably most of the lights are broken.
No, they're almost all in place.
Yeah. Well, PG&E does
But
lights.
it only took them 2 years to get them fixed.
Yeah. This sign, I have fixed this sign multiple times, and right now it's back with some graffiti. I'll have to go out
That's
there.
been like that for way over
Over
a
a
year.
year now. So that's one example. Here is the gazebo in Weston Park. Broken boards. It's not being maintained, even though we're paying maintenance for it.
Wow.
Missing playground equipment. This is what we call the egg park. I don't know what it's really called.
The chicken park.
Chicken park, egg park. I think it's called Law Park.
That was right by the school, right?
Yeah. Missing, and actually, if you can see that, that's a thing that's above the ground like this. That's a safety issue for the children who play in the park. And it's been like broken boards on our things. That part, more missing trees, all these circles.
And you know what your picture's missing though, is all the kids hanging out smoking weed.
Because I didn't want to take pictures of kids. I tried to avoid any kid pictures. The day I was there was a bunch of kids. It was during school. A bunch of kids there in that park hanging out doing whatever.
No tennis racket.
Or no tennis racket net. How long has that been missing?
That's been missing a long time.
Yep.
Here is our restroom in Weston Park. It's the toilet paper dispenser is broken, but that doesn't matter because I don't think anyone would have the guts to use that restroom. Here's the skylight in that restroom.
And there's actually one in the women's restroom. We can, we've never been there.
I bet you did.
This really is a literal skylight, right? Can't complain about that.
Hey, it's expensive, that one.
Some more stuff in the parks, which is here, the landscape along Carroll and Weston Boulevard. I put these in here because, you know, we pay for our landscape just like Brookside pays for their landscape, and just like go out there and see if they have patches of missing shrubs and
They're out there every week picking up leaves. I mean, my daughter goes out there to daycare in Brookside.
why do you guys think that Brookside has their landscaping maintained for their money, but we don't.
In Spanos Park.
That's Spanos Park. Yes,
Because they won't tolerate it.
Well, no, because Spanos wouldn't tolerate it.
they won't tolerate it,
They won't tolerate it.
but we will tolerate it, right?
Trust me, it's not the people, it's Spanos.
Are you guys going to continue to tolerate what the city says they're supposed to do to us that they don't do for us? That they don't do for us? Those Freudian slips. Once we say we're not going to take it anymore, that's when they're going to start fixing these things. And if anybody out here disagrees with anything I say, please speak up and tell me. I've heard it by thousands of people, they disagree with me. So here is our town center.
Really?
Yeah, like our town center?
Right? Our town center, which was approved by the city council prior to the town center, the Trinity
What year?
Town Center. I don't know the exact year, but it was one of the first ones that was
In
approved
the 90s, right?
prior to the Trinity, what's it called, Trinity Park Town Center. So comparing
It's
Trinity
weeds.
Park,
It's
you guys know
landscape.
where that is, right? What do they have out there?
Spanos Park.
They have a food for less,
Yeah.
they have a
Oh, that's so
dollar store.
McDonald's. They've got McDonald's, car wash.
Okay.
Target.
We have our landscape.
That's our landscape, weeds.
Okay, so why don't we have a town center where we've been promised a town center?
And they just got approval for a brand new coffee shop up there too. They're getting a bikini coffee shop up there.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Because Albert Holman was a better city councilman than you.
See what I mean about the worst critic in the whole?
Dang.
I said I would go home.
But then I gotta go home. Stay around. Okay, that just says that there's been other cities that have done this. This is not something that's not done ever. It has not been happened in a long time, but there's 17 other places that have done it. The law in California gives steps, and make sure Sean's not here.
Oh, he's in the car. I locked him in the car.
I said there's 4 steps, and he goes, then why do you have 6 steps? I told him I was going to raise 2 stones before my next meeting. But, initiation of proceedings, we're going to talk about all the different things like this. So first you have to go to last.